Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I wanted to include more drugstore products. The drugstore has been dropping that heat, okay? The drugstore has been applying that pressure. I'm gonna try to feature as many drugstore products as I can. Now there are a couple products that I just have to use, so it's not a completely drugstore look. I did include some high-end, but it's mostly drugstore. The star of the show is going to be the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and it has a pump, okay? They extended the shade range, so there are now 47 shades of this beautiful baby. Now, it has been quite some time since I've tried the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and I wasn't as knowledgeable about foundation shades and how to find the right foundation shade, so I'm pretty sure that I had the wrong shade back then. So I've never actually had my true match until today. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this drugstore beat. So I'm taking the e.l.f. Camo Color Correcting Concealer. This is in the shade Orange. I do have darkness a little bit. It's gotten better since I've been getting sleep. So my dark circles aren't as dark, but I do have darkness around my mouth. Because I'm using a new foundation, I applied the Huda Beauty Glowish primer onto the skin to really help smooth everything out and also control my oil. And I'm going to put this all over the eye. I do have a little bit of discoloration in the inner part of my eye, so I'm just gonna apply it all over. And I'm going for a more natural look, I guess. I want it to be like a more enhanced version, but not full glam, hopefully. Okay, usually when I do makeup, it's either full glam or nothing. The brows, I use the Morphe micro pencil, and then I also use the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen to just give that hair-like stroke effect, and I really do like this. I need to use this more actually. So normally I do eyes first, but because I'm going for a more natural look, I'm gonna start with the skin. So for foundation, we're taking the L'Oreal True Match. This is a super blendable foundation, and I picked up the shade N8, and I'm gonna apply her, and it's very liquidy. Because it's pretty watery, I'm going to use a brush to blend it. And I'm going to take the Morphe x Ariel A24 brush. I love this foundation brush. I just love how it applies onto the skin. And look at that. It blends right in. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is a natural foundation. I'm pretty sure it's not a matte. So it's gonna have some slight glow. So that's why I used a matte primer underneath and a matte primer that I know works for me. With that thin layer, it did apply really evenly. Don't mind this. I had an allergic reaction to some jewelry I was wearing, so it looks like it's just dryness, almost like eczema on my neck. So yeah, but look at that. It blends right into the skin. It really doesn't even look like I'm wearing makeup at all. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more just to see if I can build her up. And I'm just using tapping motions. And this is going to be perfect for the girls that don't want anything too harsh on the skin. I would recommend this honestly for anybody, and it looks really good. I used that full pump all over my face, and it gave me the perfect amount of coverage. If I wanted to add more, I definitely could, but like I said, we're going more natural today. Have to take the Juvia's Place concealer. This is in the number 12. And to be honest, I don't think I've found like a drugstore like cream bronzer. Normally I use the Juvia's Place foundation stick, but honestly, what I used to do is just use a darker concealer and use that to cream contour. So that's what I'm going to do today. I like to keep it in the family, okay? So I also used the same Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer. This is in the shade number 3. Normally I use the shade number 4, but at my Ulta they were out. So we're just going to make this work. This is a pretty like cool tone, like neutral color. I think number 4 was more warm, but that's okay. I don't mind a little sculpt. So I'm gonna take the Morphe E63. Technically, this is a foundation brush, and I'm just going to work off the back of my hand and go ahead and apply. And look at that. So beautiful, and it blends right into the skin. Now it is a concealer formula, so you definitely have to be a little bit more careful because this can get messy really quick. Using concealer just looks more natural to me because it's usually not too heavy, not too dry, but look at that, melted. And now I'm gonna take my sponge and blend out that concealer just because I don't want it to sit underneath the eyes and get dried out or anything. As you can see, everything just blends so nicely. Now I'm going to be taking this lighter Juvia's Place concealer. This is in the shade 16, and I'm just going to apply her right here. I'm going to let that dry down. So in the meantime, I'm going to be doing my nose. So I'm taking a little bit what's left, just like going on like the dried up part, not taking too much. And I'm just going to sculpt the nose. I like to focus the product right here. Just to establish the bridge. And this side has a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm gonna go right here to the front of the brow. And you see how that kind of pinches in the sides, just to give the illusion of a smaller nose. Now, I don't think that there's anything wrong with my nose at all. I just like a sculpted nose. And the key to this is just blending and taking a little bit at a time. And for the front, I just kind of shorten my nose and kind of draw like a circle for the tip to give that cute button nose effect. And just like that, the nose is about to be snatched. Take number 16 and apply a little bit right on the tip and the bridge, like that. So now I'm just going to blend out that, and I'm going to take that onto the nose, just on the sides, and that's going to help reinforce that nose contour. And I'm trying to keep this product mostly right on the inner part of the eye. I'm not blending it all the way out, but just keeping it really close. So now I'm going to be taking some cream blush. You can use the e.l.f. Putty Blush, but for me, because the skin is already pretty glowy, I want a more matte blush, not really too glowy since the skin is skinning. I'm taking the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Flushed, in the shade Primadonna. I love this pink shade. It's so beautiful. Golden Hour is really nice as well. I'm just going to take a different E63 and kind of tap into this. You don't need a lot of this. So I'm going to tap it off on the back of my hand and apply her. Look at that. Even tapping it off, it's still so pigmented. And because I went just like a little blush crazy, I'm gonna go into the butt of my sponge and just blend out the edges, kind of go over it. That way there's like no harshness, and keep it wet, keep it natural, okay? So the base is definitely giving. So I'm gonna go ahead and set underneath my eyes with a pressed powder first. Since we're using L'Oreal, I'm gonna be taking the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh foundation powder. This is an extremely bright shade, but that's okay. I'm gonna use it to set underneath the eyes first. This is in the shade 120 Vanilla. This powder has really good coverage. And I'm just going to set that underneath the eyes. And I know it looks really bright right now, but do not be alarmed. It is all going to come together. And to set all over the face, I'm taking the shade 330 Hazelnut. This is more of a golden undertone, but it is so beautiful on. But the shade looks very yellow, but it matches completely. For bronzer, I'm taking the Morphe Glamazon bronzer in the shade Leader. This is definitely more of a warm tone bronzer. I usually like a very neutral bronzer, but you know, with the warmer weather approaching, I'm here for looking like a bronzed goddess. I like to start with my forehead just because I'm usually a little bit more heavy-handed at first. But as you can see, it definitely warms up the forehead. Definitely gonna give you bronze goddess today. Look at that, stunning, beautiful. And I'm gonna take this same bronzer and I'm gonna do the nose. So just gonna add a little bit there. We're gonna work on this nose contour. So I'm just repeating the same steps that I did with the cream with the powder now. And this is when it's all going to come together. So the cream contour was almost like a guide, but this is going to be like what you actually see. So because I have that foundation powder underneath the eyes, I don't want anything else too brightening. So I'm gonna take the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey and I'm gonna use this to bake. I like to splurge on setting powders and primer just because I'm really oily and these products really help my makeup last long. So I'm just going to bake. I like to start on the sides of the nose and we're just going to do this. Now I'm just going to set a little bit on the eyes. Press the brows. For eyeshadow, I'm taking the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palette in Truffle. Now, I've never tried the e.l.f. formula, so this is going to be a first for me. This lighter shade, using that same brush I used for my nose contour, and I'm just going to apply that into the crease, and that is a stunning brown shade. So now I'm going to take this darker brown and I'm just going to apply her here. Really pretty. And I was not expecting it to be this pigmented. Kind of flick it out. Wow, that's pretty. Lashes are on, and I just added some black liner. I used the LA Girl Slide On Glide On liner. This is in Very Black, and I applied that onto the waterline, and then I just used those two browns from the Truffle eyeshadow palette and just did my lower lash line. And now I'm just going to dust away this powder with no added product. And you can see my face has that lift, that snatch. So now it's time for blush, and I'm taking the Juvia's Place Blush Duo. This is in the volume 5, and this is a beautiful, beautiful pinky coral. I'm gonna mix them. This blush honestly matches Primadonna. I'm gonna tap off as much as I can, and I'm just going to focus that right here. Look at that, so beautiful and so pigmented. For highlighter, I'm gonna take the Makeup Revolution. This is the highlighter Reloaded. This is in the shade Raise the Bar. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna add a little bit to the nose, just a little bit. I'm only gonna highlight the nose today. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm only highlighting the nose today. So to kind of just like melt the face together, I'm taking the Haley's Refresh Priming and Setting Spray. This is new, so I've never actually tried this. I've had this in my collection for quite some time. This is for all skin types. It's hydrating, fragrance-free, and cruelty-free. So, ooh, that mist is really nice. And to be honest, this feels like the Watermelon Glow Mist. So I can use the Morphe Trendsetter lip liner or the ColourPop. Let's swatch them. So this is the Morphe and this is the ColourPop. They basically are the same color. I normally always use the Morphe, so I'm gonna use the ColourPop lip liner. I have this liquid lipstick from Morphe. This is in the shade Backseat Love. I've never tried this shade and I've had this for quite some time, okay? This is what it looks like. I love the Morphe liquid lipsticks. So let's see what she is giving. It's giving like beigey pinky nude. Ooh, she is very bright. Definitely not what I was expecting, but that's pretty. That's a pretty nude. And this is my drugstore beats. I'm literally living, like I'm loving this bright under eye. The skin, okay? The skin is skinning. I'm in love with everything that I tried today. Like, the drugstore has some bangers, but yes, let me know what you guys think of my drugstore everyday look, okay? This is as everyday as it's going to get, as natural as I can get. But yes, what do you guys think? I think the foundation looks so good on the skin, especially paired with all the other products. Everything looks very beautiful. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.